Hey guys, it's Truong again from TechCloudtv. I'd like to introduce our special guest today. So we have Kevin Mendoza. Is that right? Kevin Mendoza?
Yeah.
Just checking pronunciation. So Kevin's the CEO and founder of Arista, and his latest project is Jaiyen Resort.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kevin, talk about the company you founded first, and how it ties into the Jaiyen Resort.
Jaiyen Resort. Yeah.
Jaiyen Resort.
So yeah, the company's Artisia, and it came out of starting Jaiyen Resort. So a couple of years ago, so going back to 2016, I started a project in Thailand. I'd been over there the year before because of health reasons. Just needed to recover from burning out from businesses in Sydney, and sort of co-founded some restaurants, like a restaurant chain, which then led to starting the EcoResort called Jaiyen, and purely self-funded venture. I just wanted to build a place for myself initially, and a couple of friends to get away from the rat race over here in Sydney, and then from that, since I was doing some crypto sort of light crypto investing and helping other artists, mainly musicians and other creatives, to get into blockchain and sort of just like see how they could either get work out of it or investments or just explore the space. I thought I'd put the two together and essentially, tokenize the resort model that we had, or that we were building. So that was 2016, and then fast forward to now, we've been in soft launch mode for since October last year, sort of inviting family and friends to come check it out, word of mouth. And then since May this year, it's been like the official soft launch mode with actual like public guests and some of the friends and family again. And then last year we also started doing fundraising using our token. So we developed a token that people could use as a utility to stay at the resort. And so we've been testing that out most recently with guests. We've had about 75, 76 guests so far. Some paying cash, some paying in crypto, and then some using their tokens, like kind of like cashing in a gift card, I guess, to stay at the resort. And yeah, what Artisia is basically is a global collection of safe spaces that we want to create for visionaries and change makers to incubate blueprints for new realities that we like to call like different systems and solutions for solving local and global problems. Basically, it's kind of like if you connect like a tech crunch with a holiday resort space and an incubator maker lab. That's kind of what we're building, so that people can go away, reconnect with themselves, reconnect with nature, and then really find what their fulfilling purpose is, and then use the tech at hand and the environment and the community aspect to be able to sort of test these uh, different solutions and then hopefully scale them as well.
Yeah.
So,
So you basically draw back in terms of the environment. So you go to a place where there's nature. It gives you a place for artists to really tune in to what their talent is, and then at the same
yeah.
time you have the tech to back you up if they decide to record or they decide to expand or just use the tech to advance their I guess they're making the music or they're just creating the art.
Yeah, it's not just for artists. It's like I categorize everyone as creatives, I guess, or creators. So essentially, by going away to reconnect with yourself, a lot of experiences I've had, and also with other people, have found that once they clear their mind and then they have that sort of epiphany, that moment of realization where they go, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. This is my next step. Um, Usually it's like a couple of handwritten notes or a business plan on a napkin or something. Well, we sort of amplify that by going, well, we've got the tech, so we've got access to 3D printers or computers, internet, all that sort of thing available. Why don't we like do something about it now? So instead of it being a business plan on a napkin, well, we've got resources there or within our network. I'm a web developer myself as well and graphic designer, so I've had people come over and go, "Cool, let's map this out already. Let's do a business model canvas, or let's do the wireframes for your website that you're going to launch and all that sort of thing." Or it could be for a musician who wants to record new songs and then take it back home to a proper studio, or an artist to start sketching out their next big thing, a filmmaker, a photographer, all that sort of thing. It's just like a place to kind of reset and then go, okay, what am I going to do next? We've had some crypto developers there as well, chat through different ideas and use it as a space as well that we can go, okay, let's test things out, build a little bit of a like a demo app and then use it within the guest space themselves to experiment and see, okay, can we transfer coins to each other, or what if this idea works, and give a reward for doing this or that. Like we're testing out things like, okay, giving people rewards for helping in the garden or cleaning up or being more conscious about the space and the energy that they use on the resort. If they turn the air cons off or the fans and that sort of thing, then maybe they get rewarded with additional credits for the next stay or something like that. If they're mindful about practices like that also help the environment. So
Yeah, yeah. So that kind of stems over to I guess my next question is, why did you decide to use blockchain and crypto in your project and use a native coin? So there's two parts of that question, where why not just use Bitcoin, like, and then why are you using a native coin? Is there are you going to build an ecosystem where you can use this token at multiple places?
yeah. Initially, started developing our own just because I didn't really know what was out on the market, and Bitcoin wasn't necessarily um, a usable currency. Yeah, it was P2P cash. It was more of a store of value, right? Which has turned out to be the case now. So I just wanted to start with something small that we could, control initially and work out all the bugs, to be able to just use it for the simple purpose of like transacting for the rooms, and then curation as well of who's actually like staying there and using the coin. And then the next part to it that I really want to incorporate is digital rights management, which I know now some tokens incorporate,
Mm.
and we've looked at different solutions for that, even down to like POS system stuff as well, and like accepting other cryptos. We've looked at partnerships in that sense. With the digital rights management, basically, yeah, adding in the incubation side of things, it's like I want to test out if people come and stay and then do a painting or a song, or um, do a startup sort of project where we get some equity in exchange for subsidized stays. We've experimented on one project doing that already. Um, then yeah, blockchain just sort of ticks all those boxes for solving those little things, and then also making it transparent. So, one of my backgrounds as well is as a musician, coming from like, I'm in, um, yeah, like coming from that environment where, as a creative, the record labels usually, play the middleman, or management plays the middleman, and then like the artist themselves gets exploited. Kind of wanted to, decrease that by going, okay, I'll build a home for these creatives, and if they do share a little bit of what they're doing in exchange for staying in the home, then and working on their craft, then it benefits everyone, because if the coin itself, the company itself, the value goes up because of the artists and creatives, contributing, whether it's art or tech, um, then it benefits everyone who gets to use the space. So it's not just your normal holiday resort where you come and spend money, eat food, and then go back home and leave a mess kind of thing in the hotel. And it helps the artists as well. So, um, in terms of like using other coins. Yeah, I've looked at different solutions for different things, just because there is no sort of silver bullet for everything. Um, uh, Initially, what we wanted to do was just sell our coin and then get people to use that solely at the resort, um, with a view of then opening up other resorts around the world for people, to use there. But then the way the market's shaping up, it's actually making more sense for us to be able to at least accept other tokens and then just convert them to whatever our currency is for use within the resort, and then hopefully later on with better partnerships we can turn the coin into something that's usable elsewhere as well.
For sure, yeah. Just a segue. Actually, my next question I have is, yeah, do you have any major partnerships that you can publicly announce?
Um, well, we're working with Blockwell at the moment. So Blockwell, if you look at blockwell.ai, so Josh Smith, he's handling the token side of things for us there. Um, that's all I can really think of in terms of like token development side of things. I've got a guy coming next month, um, and we've been talking about installing like a Bitcoin ATM on
Okay.
site.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, we're just in discussions now, so it's not like an official thing. But as much as I can sort of divulge, yeah, we're looking at having a Bitcoin ATM set up, which is kind of helpful as well because then with the crypto regulations just opening up in Thailand, it might mean we could even have a side business, just trading Bitcoin, or being a what's the word, like using
Supply.
local Bitcoin to supply a vendor for Bitcoin,
Yeah.
because there's new licenses that we can register for in Thailand now,
Oh,
which is
awesome.
really good. As a they accepted crypto there. So that's one thing. And then there's a couple of like hotel groups that I've been talking about as well. Possibly not for a buyout or anything, but just to be included for the hotel management side. So then, like, I don't have to worry about it too much myself. And then um, there's another fund that just started in May. They just did a public launch in May, and we've been talking to them about doing I guess like a, without saying too much, like a reality TV kind of series involving incubation of
Mm,
projects
okay.
in an island setting to do with blockchain. So that's about as much as I can.
So it's like a big brother kind of thing, but you basically have teams that are trying to develop something, and then you get to see that when they have the
Yeah,
aha moments and the up and downs, and you can see like a startup in its rawest form.
exactly. Yeah, getting support and resources and all that sort of thing as well, and uh, and sort of seeing the behind the scenes, footage of what really happens in this environment. It's not all like Lambos and unicorns and it's like, there's a lot of but and I'd say even like 80% of it is more like emotional and mental fortitude of people working in a space that's so new and experimental. A lot of people are just flying by the seat of their pants, and yeah, it's been a pretty crazy ride, like the last year and a half or so, going from a small eco resort project to like, oh, okay, we're now doing like global blockchain stuff.
I can imagine. So, so whereabouts are you in your fundraising? And would you be using a ICO method or STO method or something like that?
Yeah, we're not sure on that because basically what happened with us, which I think is pretty unique in the space. I haven't seen anyone else go through it. We were just preparing for an ICO. We hadn't even properly launched um, an ICO, and yeah, we already started getting buzz and hype and all that. So from that, we were able to raise roughly 1.3 million just from like just having the idea of do we do an ICO or an STO or whatnot. It was just like people were just like, I don't care what way you do it, we just want in on the project from the ground up. So that was great because then it was like we were able to fulfill building the resort, because by the time crypto came into the picture, I'd already built half the resort, so it was
Okay.
easy to just say, cool. We'll use the rest of the funds to do the legal side of things, the global infrastructure, the entities, the additional rooms and all that sort of thing, and the token development. So it's good that even though the market sort of crashed, we have something tangible to show. Like I live on the resort myself, so
Of course. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like we didn't do an ICO, but we did sell tokens that
Okay.
people can do. We haven't listed the tokens on the market, obviously, because of the volatility. But at least people can cash in the tokens for use in the resort, which was the original purpose. And then most recently, we've been talking about a possible IEO.
Okay.
Just depends, how much funds we allocate to get on the market there. Um, but yeah, we've also been talking about splitting the coin or possibly developing a different coin so that one can be an STO that's specifically related to the property ownership, so like fractional ownership of the property, and then one that's just the utility token to use back and forth between resorts.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah,
one token would be used to have stake ownership into the resort. Would that
yeah.
mean what it is? But yeah.
We're talking about possibly doing that because the tricky thing is when we started the project, we had over 20 submissions from people with land projects or existing resorts or things like that that they wanted to include in the Artisia banner on the same collection. And as we did our due diligence, discovered okay, some of the properties we can't legally own because they're on like long-term leaseholds. Like say in Thailand in particular, unless you're a Thai national, you can't own land there, and I think it's the same in China. Like they give you like a
Yeah.
99 lease and all that sort of thing. And then some other properties were like the equivalent of what we know in Australia is like heritage listed properties where they can't actually go on sale, but they're available for use. So it was like, okay, we have to come up with a different land management agreement for how these properties will be utilized, but it doesn't fit the traditional ownership model that is available to, say, US investors. The structures that they have. So that's where the token comes in kind of handy if we do the STO, where if the token is a representation of the company value itself, and then the assets can just be rolled in there, even if the asset is a lease
Mm.
under conventional terms, which isn't necessarily an asset. The fact that there's a business running on there, and we hold control of that lease and all that sort of thing would still have some value within the company.
Yeah. So it's basically tied with the company value or the company
Yeah,
percentages. And then if you wanted to cash out, then you just cash out your STO to the utility token, and then you can sell that on a secondary market.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or basically use it at your resorts, or
yeah,
if the ecosystem's grown into something that you can use it to trade in for some goods.
yeah. I mean, initially we were even looking at developing our own platform so that people could release their own tokens. Like I wanted kind of like a Kickstarter slash Patreon kind of platform where artists could come and do their thing, and then have their own token to go. Okay, I'm only selling X amount, like an exclusive amount of these products or whatever the works are that they've created, and then just use our platform to launch. But then that was a year and a half ago, and now there's so many different platforms that do that already. I mean,
Yeah,
anyone can
thousands,
create.
thousands of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So where would you think? What would you say where the project is now? And have you reached all your key milestones in your roadmap?
I would say, like, well, they've changed a lot, just given the way the market is. But where we are now is well, we've got an operational resort, which is awesome. Like, we've got 10 rooms in Thailand that we've been able to get bookings for retreats and different events and all that sort of thing. A couple of weddings, couple of what's it called, like hackathons and things like that.
Oh, awesome.
Um, yeah, and so we're just sort of like using it as an experimental space to see what sort of identity will grow out of it. Because some people come there thinking that it's going to be like a WeWork space on an island. Other people come there thinking they're going to be on holiday, but then they end up loving the place and wanting to contribute, but they actually end up working, on there. So it's really varied, but yeah, we've got a functioning resort, and then on the where we are with the token development and the roadmap is that we're trying to figure out which version to go with, the IEO, STO, and utility token. Um, Still talking about an ICO, because that, I mean, on the utility side, that still works. Like if it was just a retail offering to people who want to travel,
Mm.
and we just offer the token at a discount, like there's nothing wrong with doing that. Even with the the stigma around Bitcoin, people are getting a discount on a holiday, that's still a viable option just to bring some revenue in. And then for the other locations, so in Norway, which was going to be our second location, last year we planted some agriculture, like we did some agriculture there, so potatoes, carrots, that sort of thing, like to test the fertility of the land, which has all been good. Um, um, uh, yeah, Norway. So yeah, we grew some stuff there. There's already an existing cabin. My you know, co-founder and one of our partners there, like who's basically the lead for Norway. He's got a cabin there, or a house and a couple of cabins that they've been able to test different experiences there as well. And then, yeah, sort of laying out the plans for what we're going to build, how we're going to build it, what materials we're going to use, and all that sort of thing, trying to like minimize, the carbon footprint that we have, but also utilize the natural resources there. And then there's two other locations that um, in sort of like the planning development phase. We haven't really started construction on them yet. So yeah, the the sort of the what do you call it, development windows that we have for properties are about 2 to 3 years, if it's a new project. Whereas we've also had, funnily enough, in Mexico, we've had five different people approach us with like, hey, we've got this property, and like we just want you guys to come and do your thing here, and it's ready to go. But then after doing our due diligence, it's like a lot of those places, I think the last early last year or the late the year before, there was a bit of a like a thing where the cartels were coming in and clearing out those locations, like clearing out foreign owners and all that sort of thing. So um, yeah, it's been a long process of like getting some really good, like the roller coaster, like, hey, this person's interested and we're gonna get this and that, and oh cool, our roadmap's gonna advance by a couple of months, great. And then it's like, oh, actually, but there's these things that we've got to go back down the roller coaster and get back to reality.
Yeah,
um, but yeah, all in all, not too bad for like, it's technically been a year, yeah, a year or a year and 2 months now, I think, since the project started, and we've got a resort, so, and a coin. So
that's awesome.
that's yeah.
Do you have a sense of achievement? Because it's like a year ago you're looking at dirt, and now you actually have a functioning hotel. Guests are coming, and they're using you're pretty much prototyping your native coin.
Yeah, only this week has that actually set in, because I like just you reminding me now, and then I had two other mates like who I haven't seen in a while, and I came back because I haven't been back in Sydney for a couple of months now, and yeah, when I saw them, they were like, "Oh, how's everything going?" And I was like, "Oh, as the founder or whatever, it's like my little baby." So I was like, "Oh yeah, there's cracks here, and this needs to be fixed, and that, this and that, and blah blah blah." And they're like, "Dude, you've got a resort, that it's pretty much done within the year, and there's people staying there." And I was like, "Oh yeah, true." But me, I'm impatient. I want it done yesterday. I don't want the 10 rooms or just the 10 rooms. I want 40 for this one, and then have like groups staying there, and starting to really like ramp up and grow and scale. that sort of thing. But it'll happen, I'm sure, if we're going at this pace. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great for I guess all your early investors. So you know they've invested in you as a CEO of the company, and you're powering through all your goals. So you achieved 10,
Yeah.
now you want 40. So you got some momentum and you just want to follow through, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So thanks, Kevin, for catching up with us.
No,
And congratulations on your project. So yeah,
thank
we'll basically
you.
get in touch with you again. Maybe do a catch up in a couple of months.
Yeah.
I'll basically put all the links to all your socials for the projects and personal links. And yeah,
Awesome.
thanks for
Yeah.
spending some time with us today, Kevin.
No, thanks, man, and hopefully we'll see you over there.
Yeah, man. Wait for the invite.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching another video on TechCloudtv. If you want to subscribe, click on here. And if you want to check out our other videos, click on here. I'll see you in the next one.